everyone. Welcome to a new episode of the FlytNow webinar series. So on May 21 of the year 2021, we witnessed the official launch of the IDIPLOYER MP2.1. Was that just another coincidence? To find out more, please welcome our special guest for today, Peter Campbell, the founder and CEO of idroneimages. With an experience of 4 years in the UAV industry, Peter started off as a remote drone pilot, quickly moving up the ladder to build a large client portfolio by performing aerial surveys and inspections across the construction and telecom industry. It was this experience that led Peter to his pivot toward establishing a business in drone automation. In this webinar, Peter will give us a sneak peek of his brainchild, the IDIPLOYER, and tell us what's new at the IDIPLOYER headquarters after the release of the flagship product. I would also like to take another moment to welcome my colleague and Director of Business Development at Flightbase, Achal. Achal today would share some anecdotes and insights that he has learned over the numerous conversations with drone service providers from across the globe and walk us through the partner exclusive program that we are launching today. So welcome Achal and welcome Peter.
Thank you, Vaishali.
Thank you, Vaishali.
To begin, I'll move on to Achal. Could you elaborate on the current challenges that the drone service providers usually face with the standard day-to-day drone operations?
Right. Sure. Thank you, Vaishali. Hi, everyone. This is Achal. Nice to see you all. So let me set the context. And to set the context, I'm going to talk about the problems that we have heard from working with various DSPs and what are the problems that they are facing today. So as you go out in the field and fly these drones, there are a lot of challenges that you're facing. So starting from traveling to these distant locations where you do long hours of travel through rough terrain, inaccessible sites, go and collect data over there. Then you'd have to come back, manually upload the data onto the cloud through your USB stick when you're back into your office or a hotel where you're doing this operation. And then you suddenly realize that, okay, something is wrong. You have to again go and fly that mission, right? So this is a never-ending process. And I'm sure a lot of drone solution providers who are listening to me right now can empathize or relate to that. So one is distance location. Of course, we can't talk more about the operating conditions, right? You work in situations where there are extreme weather conditions, from deserts to having ice cold weather, even going to nuclear power plants or toxic environments where there are stringent check-in procedures, and you would have to go there every day and follow all of that. Similarly, even if you are providing training to the pilots who are there on the job site, this could be your own pilots, or these are the pilots who are on the job site, which may be employees of this company, there is always an issue of retraining, because people obviously move around, they leave the job, and there is an overall decrease in onboarding efficiency owing to the constant training of the security guards or officials or the pilots that have been hired to replace to completely do the operations on those sites. So the fourth part is there are operations where you need 24/7 operations, right? Your customers would be looking for a security drone, and now it would be very difficult to have a pilot on the ground or train somebody on the site who could fly a drone 24/7 for the site awareness, and that is the requirement for that customer side. So how do you solve these problems? How can you overcome all of this? So to get to the place where you can start doing operations and solve these problems, is you'd have to upgrade to the autonomy. And this is what the topic of the webinar here is, where how you can upgrade to the autonomy and how FlytNow and IDIPLOYER can help you get there. So to upgrade to autonomy, of course, we've been talking about drone-in-the-box systems, where on May 21st, we launched IDIPLOYER, which is a cost-effective, affordable, compact docking station, which works with DJI Mavic 2. So this allowed a lot of companies, drone solution providers to start adopting this technology, where they already had their reliable DJI Mavic 2. They're getting their docking station where they are looking to deploy this for various security use cases, construction, agriculture, etc. And they are using FlytNow software. So we spoke about these three components in our past events, where how you can get started with the technical front. So today what we'll do is we'll learn about what are the updates to this product and what are the things that we have been doing since May 21. Plus we're gonna talk about the things that we have in for you for the partner program launch.
Thank you.
So I'll give it back to the Vaishali to take it forward. Thank you.
Thanks again. To talk about the new and improved IDIPLOYER MP2.1, let me move on to Peter. So welcome again, Peter. Could you tell us what is brewing in the IDI headquarters?
Hi, Vaishali. Yes, thank you very much for the introduction, and welcome everybody. So yes, we, as Vaishali said, we are operators in the UK airspace in terms of drone operations, completing various missions across construction, telecoms, and built up a really large client base. And it sort of got to that stage of COVID-19 where work slowed down, and we couldn't do the work that we did as remote pilots. And that got us thinking and got us sort of talking to our client base about how we can automate the process and how we can simplify the process in these difficult times. So we began searching the market for autonomous systems. So how we can try and complete the workload that they still required from the drone operators, but without that remote pilot in place. And we just could not find a solution that suited the client in terms of it being simple and in terms of it being cheaper and a good return on investment for our clients. And with our background in UAVs, we know our way around the aircrafts. We understood how they operated, and we had a bit of an engineering background within our team. So we set about sort of researching, developing, and prototyping various methods of drone-in-a-box systems. And that journey was, quite a rapid one over 18 months. So sort of COVID-19 allowed us to slow down, if you like, and actually innovate in this kind of product, in this autonomy, because we know that's where the industry is directing. So that's sort of a bit about how we've got to where we are today in the production of the IDIPLOYER system.
Thanks, Peter, for the introduction. So there are many people in the audience today who might have missed the official launch. So could you quickly walk us through the product?
Yeah, sure. So we've done various sort of types of system, and talking to our clients and understanding exactly what they needed, and also on the back of that, talking to the regulators to understand what safety mitigations we needed to put in place on our systems to allow them to be operated in UK and EU airspace. So we've got some of the mitigations in place, and you can see on here some of the LED alerts. So we have the lighting system that mimics the UAV. So when it's got a fault, they'll be red. When it's ready to take off, they'll be flashing green. So we've got a real good visual indication of what's happening with our system. We've also insulated the box to ensure that there's no overheating risks. And the reason we've sort of changed it to white is that obviously that UV reflection, which reduced our temperature of inside the box by nearly 10 degrees. So, it's a good modification we made on our sort of version 1. We've increased the sort of anti-theft system because that was some concerns from clients. So we have the locking system on the front of the box, so that locks the drone into the case. I mean, if someone wants to get in, they will always get in these systems, but we've made it as anti-theft as we possibly can. And also our research sort of told us that our clients wanted minimum drone modifications, and not only that, we wanted the systems to still be as safe as they possibly can be. And we know that doing any sort of real damaging sort of modifications to the drone to enable it to do the automation just isn't a good thing. So we've got real minimum modifications to it. So any attachments you see on our drone are just that. They are attachments similar to the prop guards. So we have 2 connections on the drone's feet, and that enables us to trigger the charge into the battery. The contact plates that you sort of see on this drawer are where we make the contact with them drone feet, and that's how we trigger the charge for the drone. And we only send the system the voltage and the amperage that it's expecting, so we don't overcurrent the battery. We use the DJI charger inside of our box, so it is only getting what it's expecting, so it's a very safe charging method. So that's sort of a whistle-stop tour of the image you see on the picture, and we are going to show you some sort of live pictures of the drone box itself.
Thanks, Peter. We can already see that there has been so many changes or modifications in the box, and you did mention about the change in the color for various reasons. Moving on to the next slide, we can see that how the box has changed from the launch that we had seen on May 21st to what it is today. So maybe we can focus on Robert. Robert is on field, and I can already see him showing the box out there. Hi, Robert, can you hear us?
I can, yes. Please can I talk us through the box?
Yeah, I'll talk. So I'll talk you through the system. Obviously, the feed isn't that great, but we'll do our best. Yeah, so similar to what you see on the image. So this is our production model. So as you see at the front of the box here, we have these roller bars. So Robert just goes a bit closer down to these roller bars. So what we found was we're using Flightbase's precision landing, which is extremely accurate. So we get a really good central landing of the drone. But should there be gust of wind, or it goes slightly off that landing tag by up to 6 centimeters, which is during our testing, that's the maximum we've seen away from the center. As the drawer closes, the prop guards are nudged onto these roller bars, and it just pushes it back into the center. So it's just a really simple method of positioning the drone. And the reason we chose to do this external simple method is because we wanted to remove any robotics, because robotics are, number one, very expensive, and we wanted to keep the drone in a box system as affordable for you drone service providers as possible. So there is no complex robotics in the system. Do you want to move around, Rob? I think we've lost Robert's live feed. Yeah, so I'll continue talking about the box until he gets a live feed. So also on the bottom of the box, we have a drawer positioner. So again, we wanted to remove any actuators because they're moving parts from our system. So we use a couple of bars on the bottom of the door, which pulls the door into position, into its locking position. So again, a very simple method, and just keeps things nice and affordable for the end user.
I can see Robert.
I think we've got his live feedback, have we? Yeah, so I just wanted to show you the top of the box and the rear of the box, really. So we have these antennas. So we do a small modification to the RC, so we can extend the antennas out of the box, and that just ensures that we always have a very good signal for the RC. And the second bar you see going across the back of the box is for LTE. So that's our 4G network. However, you can access the box systems via Ethernet. But we have various different options of connectivity. So do you want to show us inside the rear panel, Rob? So this is the access panel to the rear of the box. I don't think the image is doing it justice, but inside the system we have various sort of tech around how the box is operating, and then we have the single board computers that are controlling the UAV. So we have an Odroid system, which effectively becomes the mobile device, which we use with flight-based software to control the missions of the drone. And then we have various different controllers that then operate the box and give us feedback on the state of the system. So that's a sort of whistle-stop tour of the box. Vasali, over to you.
Thank you, Peter. That really looks amazing. So moving on to Achal. Achal, why don't you tell us, tell the audience about the software that controls the box and that is running behind it all?
Sure. Is my screen back?
Yes, it is.
Right. So great updates to the product, and similarly we've been doing upgrades to the FlytNow, so you can have a fully automated operations planned through the dashboard. So at the left you see various modules or widgets which are available in the dashboard, from fleet management to mission planning to mission scheduling, analyzing your logs, of course the precision landing, which allows the drone to precisely land on the docking station every time, as well as you have the guest view, where if you want to quickly share this video from the drone coming to your screen with your client or the guest, you can just hit the share button and generate a private link to show that video. So this is really handy in terms of emergency operations, security operations, etc. And of course you can integrate a smart wall to it, where you're able to get all the video feeds on one screen. So you can efficiently conduct patrols, remote monitoring, security, site progress monitoring using FlytNow. You can land the drone precisely, enabling your drone to autonomously maneuver and land itself. We have built various fail safes into the system and the recovery algorithms, which ensures that the drone would come and land on the box every single time. And of course, the complete control and telemetry of the box and the automated routine are built in FlytNow Auto. And of course, the applications are endless. So today you could be deploying that on a construction site, on a mining site, or back of your pickup truck for the emergency response operations. The applications are endless. So you can easily get these boxes and these are so compact, and use your very own DJI Mavic 2, where you can start deploying them for various use cases. And FlytNow would provide you all the software modules to enable your operations for any use case. Now we move on we have seen the technology, but how do we start selling these units, and how do we work closely together? And there are of course barriers to DSPs who are looking to adopt this technology. So of course there is an upfront investment on the hardware and system for conducting all the demos, where you need this solution to start to show it to your customers, make sure that they are liking it, they want it, so you can go and deploy these units. You need the technical support for all this success of the demos, because customer might have certain success criteria that you need to meet to win that deal or show them the exact value of the solution. You would also need close collaboration with OEMs like us and other manufacturers who are building sensors, security sensors, or software integrations, where you need these additional modules to be integrated as the customer would require. So somebody could be looking for a video management system or a VMS integration, or somebody could be looking at a IoT sensor integration. Some would want to use some other modules or ERP software to do analytics or post-processing, create orthomosaics. So you need a close collaboration with these OEMs, where we can help you collaborate with all of that. And of course, you need support on marketing and sales for these offerings. So you need the right material, you have to go and pitch them to the customer, etc. Then of course, what is the go-to-market strategy? How are you going to pitch the solution and position yourself in the market. When you go to these enterprise customers, you have to prepare for the proposal. You need to make sure that the ROIs are great for them and what is going to work, what is not going to work, what does it look at the volume or the scale level where you're going to deploy 10, 20, 300 docking stations in the coming time. And of course, regulations and compliance. How would this system would be approved and have all the compliance to be deployed in that particular geography? So these are some barriers which DSPs are facing, where they want to overcome these to get started on selling these units to their end customer. So with this, we have designed a complete program which we call a DIB Partner Program, which helps drone solution providers to overcome these barriers. So the intent of this program is to provide all the support that eligible DSPs need to kickstart their business, for helping end users adopt docking stations for automated drone operations. So the idea again here is that how we can closely work with you to help you with all the components, technical, non-technical, business, marketing, to get you that stage. The way you got started with your DJI drone 4 years, 5 years from now, where you started doing these commercial operations and now you are into the drone business. Similarly, a shift is happening where you'd have to adopt this kind of technology to build your next level or next offering. And that is where IDIPLOYER and FlytNow are coming together to help you build that. So we're going to talk about the partner program benefits, and first we're going to talk about what IDIPLOYER or idroneimages has to offer. So again, I would invite Peter to help us understand about the IDIPLOYER Partner Program.
Hi, thank you, Achal. So we're really excited to launch this this partner program. We've sort of been working on this throughout the year, really. And this is born out of a lot of our clients are drone service providers, and we have various in the EU at the moment that are joining our partner program, and we've built this program to help bring these docking stations and automation to market, and to aid the regulators really understand how these systems are operating in airspace, and gathering that evidence. So I think these kind of programs will really help shape the future of the regulations. Within our partnership program are sort of various benefits really. We have the exclusive docking station discounts that we offer on our systems, that are only open to our drone service providers partner program. We have our bespoke online training, so we design the training for you and what your use case is for the systems. We do that online with your team, and we also do the online setup of the docking stations with you when you receive them. We give you priority system support over the journey of your purchase with us. So we don't want to just send these docking stations out there and leave you to it. We're there throughout the whole journey. So any support you need or any updates that we need to push to your system, we can do that remotely, and you'll have that support for us as a priority drone service provider. Again, we're well aware that launching these systems need marketing, and you need help with that. So we have a bespoke marketing package for you to bring your product to market and to help you demonstrate these products to end users. So when you're ready to do your demonstration days, we will help you with that marketing. And then once you're doing that demonstration, again, doing some online marketing to show that demonstration and to sort of really get the system out there. And obviously throughout the year, we do similar to what we're doing now, where we're doing these webinars, but we are going to be doing something similar as IDIPLOYER around partner events. And this isn't just about marketing. This is about sharing our experiences as drone service providers, and us understanding the use cases that you're finding or coming across, and sharing that knowledge and information with other partners. Because again, I think, going back to our mission of helping with the regulations of these systems, I think having that knowledge base amongst a drone service partner community is standing in good stead for the future.
Great, thank you. Yeah, thank you, Peter. Similarly, FlytNow is here to help you with all the partner benefits from the software side. So we obviously offer the special discounts on the subscription, so you have margin on the software subscriptions. You get remote training of using each and every module. So again, we have designed a dashboard which enables one-to-many workflows which could be required for your application. So it's very important for you to understand each and every component which is available in the application, where you can apply them depending upon what application or what sub application you're doing with the system. Of course, training also includes priority support and documentation, where this would enable you to get to the stage where you are able to troubleshoot a lot of things in terms of what is going wrong, the software in case you're facing some issues or the minor issues, as well as once you get started with the deployments, you would need support in terms of handling the system, deploying the system, making sure they are deployed well and connected to the system with the complete connectivity, as well as anything that would be required for the troubleshooting. The fourth is about joint go-to-market, where we had a podcast last Friday where we invited one of our partners from Belgium. Similarly, we are doing more such kind of events, as well as working closely with them so we can jointly work on the deals or with the customers to solve those problems for them. And for that, you of course get access to all the FlytNow sales and marketing collateral, where you're able to present that, send proposals and everything. So those are some benefits where IDIPLOYER and FlytNow are coming together to offer you as part of the partner program. So of course, these benefits are only available to selected DSPs, and we have a eligibility criteria for the program. So I would like to take you through those points one by one, so you can understand and see whether you are eligible for the program or not. So we are particularly looking to work with drone solution providers who have been already doing drone services or providing drone solutions and have the potential to scale. So when I mean scale, you're working on the applications where drone automation is going to play a key role. So if you're doing things where you have a high frequency mission or remote locations that need to be covered, or this is where you have a very difficult situation to send somebody as a human to fly the drone, you need those kind of use cases to deploy these automated stations, as we spoke at the start of the webinar. You need to operate in markets that are ready for adoption for autonomous drones. We have been working in the EU region with multiple partners, where we are helping them with the compliance, their SORA, their PDRA, etc., where there would be adoption happening on scale in these markets. As well as there are situations where you need to deploy that at remote places where it's very difficult to get somebody go there, and we're looking for such kind of use cases or partners operating in that market. We are focused majorly on aerial security, progress monitoring, and asset inspection. The reason being that where we see immense ROI, where you again need frequent missions to do this, and there is a huge value of deploying automated drone systems. And preferably, you already have a pool of customers who have received good ROI from adopting autonomous drones or semi-autonomous drones, and they see the value. So we're looking for partners who already have these pool of customers. And you have a good understanding of drone deployments, how would regulations work, working with customer and providing support. of course, we'd be there to help you learn this technology, the hardware, the software, whatever is required from the regulation side. We are happy to help you provide those kind of modules or add-ons to get that compliance, as well as any data that you need to build that safety case. And of course, you need to be ambitious and result oriented, where you have plans for scaling, as I said on the first point, and you're looking to create an edge for your business in a particular domain with drone automation. Yeah, so with that, I'll again move on to Peter. Peter, if you can highlight what we are offering to the selected partners in the iDeployer package.
Yes, sure. Thank you very much. So we've, to get started, we want to include sort of a full package really. So you can take these systems and demonstrate them to your end users. You want to put up the points for me? Yeah, so our systems come with the iDeployer docking station, and we can provide the UAV with that docking station should you require it, because we can do the small modifications for you. Some drone service providers prefer to do the modifications themselves, which are quite simple to do, but we can do all of the modifications that are required for the UAV and provide it with the docking station. We have the sort of FlytNow auto subscription for 3 months on that system, so it gives you a really good chance to demonstrate the systems and understand the software and get to sort of know and love that software. As I said earlier, you get extended support from us, so you will always have us available if you have any issues with the system, and likewise FlightBase are very good at giving that support too. We provide a 1-year warranty with our systems. Obviously, we do some modifications to the UAV in terms of the legs and a small modification to the battery switch, and the RC we have to do a modification on so we can remotely switch it on and off. So we cover that warranty of the drone because we do that modification. So in terms of price, so we market the systems at $7,999, and we are really keen not to sell volume. We are keen to sell these systems to drone service providers and partners, so they can get out there and demonstrate it. So we've reduced that price for you guys only, and we're going to do that for $4,999 for you. Significantly lower price, and it's a similar price for the distribution price when you sell it to clients. So there is significant return on investment from your side with these systems.
Great, that's great, Peter. So as a partner, you get a straight £3,000 discount on the retail price, and if you're eligible, you'd be able to get this demo units at this price, which would help you conduct all these demos, go to the events, etc. And of course, we'd help you with all the benefits that we just spoke a while back. So that is included in the package, and all of that is just for $4,999, so you can get started. And the idea here is, and we have significantly reduced the cost because we want you guys to get started and have these kind of demos being conducted and work with you to make sure these systems are compliant in your geography, your areas where you're going to deploy that. So that's the reason of this price drop, where we want to make it easy for you to get the first unit and get started with your deployments or your demos first. So of course, there is eligibility criteria that we spoke about. So to get started, you'd have to head to this page where it would be flightnow.com/ideployer on FlytNow website, or idroneimages IDIPLOYER Partner Program. You can also scan this code, and there is a small form that you have to fill in to register for the program. And then our teams would get back to you to help you understand the rest of the process and how you can be eligible for this program. So with this, I would just open it for Q&A, and yeah, let's take some questions from the audience.
Thanks, Achal. Thanks for sharing and detailing the partner program. So we have a lot of questions for you, Peter, around the box. I'll just take it one by one. So what is the operating temperature and the box rating? Is it IP66?
So we've sent our systems for IP testing because we've made some quite significant changes to the external structure. So our previous box was rated at 55, and we've now increased the IP of the system. We've now sent that for testing, and we're hoping to achieve that 66. But obviously we need to wait for that result. But yes, it's weatherproof. Operating temperatures. In terms of our docking station, we operate at the same temperatures as the UAV. Down to 5 degrees and up to the highest of 40 degrees, because we have the ambient cooling systems in place. As a add-on feature, you can purchase HVAC systems and attach them to the box. That has that capability to do that. So if you are putting in more extreme climates, we can install that heating and cooling for you, and then we can get that tested to that environment that you'll require to operate them in.
Thanks, Peter. We also have questions around, is there an estimated life cycle or what is the maintenance program? How does it
in terms of maintenance, we've built the system very low maintenance. There is only one moving part. So in terms of the life cycle of the battery, because we're charging in the drone and the battery is a single-use battery, we recommend that's charged 100 uses, or when you start to see the voltage depletion, and you'll be able to see that on the dashboard. So we recommend that battery is swapped out. It's a very simple process, and we provide the maintenance instructions to do that. We don't tie you into maintenance with us because it is very simple to maintain. The life cycle of the box is the life cycle of the UAV. So any small parts or components that fail or need replacement, we can send them out to you to do a simple swap out. We've made all of the components in one accessible access panel at the rear to make that sort of maintenance process simple.
All right. We also have a question around the 4G. Is the box connected to 4G or 5G?
Yeah, so there's multiple connections that we've integrated. So you can plug the Ethernet in to the rear of the box if you have access to the Ethernet, or you can access via the LTE. So we have an LTE box inside. You can put a SIM card into that box and use your 4G, 5G network in the future. But yes, it's got multiple sort of access ability.
Also, Peter, how can users power the box at a remote site?
Yeah, so we test our systems on remote locations. So we don't have access to power where we test them. So we take a power bank with us, which lasts us for 6 hours operating the system. And that's also operating various laptops and et cetera, et cetera. So, we've used the power bank, and it's 140 volts or 230 volts in. So standard sort of plug. So it's very easy in terms of the power setup, and obviously you can attach solar panels to your power bank to power the system too if it is in a remote location. So there's various options really to power it.
That sounds great. Also, Peter, could you just mention the compatible drones with the iDeployer?
Yeah, so obviously our research at the very beginning of the build of these systems, we spoke to most of our clients we already worked with, and talked about what drone would be most suitable. And each time, some clients wanted the biggest and the best drone they could buy, but actually it didn't function or do the job, or was too much for that use case. So we've integrated it with the Mavic 2 series because of its versatility and the size. And because of its size, we can mitigate a lot of the risk concerns that are within the regulations. And in the future, hopefully, we can prove that the use cases with this drone are so good that we can get regulatory approval for the iDeployer system itself. That's the vision for the future. Hence why we haven't gone for them big, heavy drones. But with our CAD designs that we have, and with the right client in terms of confirmation that they definitely want to order systems with a specific drone, then we can build a bespoke docking station for that client. But there's very sort of stringent eligibility criteria for us to be able to do that development.
Thanks, Peter. Now, in continuation to that question, since you mentioned that the DJI drones, the Mavic series drones are compatible with the box, does the price that we quoted here for as a partner program benefit, does it include the Mavic 2 Zoom or the Pro drone?
No, so they need to buy the Mavic 2 separately, but we would do the integration of that system for you. So we would source that drone, we would do the modifications, and we would send it ready to plug and play.
You did mention about that in the workflow moving ahead, that custom drones would be supported, and could you just let our users know the external dimensions of the box?
Yeah, so at the moment the box is 800 millimeters in length, 650 millimeters wide, and 350 millimeter high. So very compact, very lightweight, so it's under 30 kilograms. And it's mountable in multiple locations. So you probably see on some of the images we sent, we've got, you can install this on a gantry, back of a vehicle, on a roof, ground level. It's very compact. And we designed it that way so we could integrate it in multiple locations. And it's not too big that it's an obvious integration for like a construction site or security of premises. And again, we can wrap the box in any vinyl, so we can put your graphics on it, or we can camouflage it. We can do any wrap the client needs. We just talk to us and we can make that happen for you.
All right. A lot of other questions around the box. So what is the weight of the box, and does it allow or does it include a battery just in case of a power failure?
No, it doesn't have backup battery systems, purely because of the cost that would add to the systems. We wanted to make it affordable. However, if clients want to add that backup system or request it through us, we're definitely open to integrating different systems like that. If it requires development, then we'll discuss with the clients as we go through. I think there was a question on the back of the Mavic that I just seen come up, Asada.
Around, I can see a few other questions around, is the battery modified?
Yes, so we don't modify the batteries. So we did an extensive amount of research on the batteries, and also talking to the regulators in the UK, the CAA, around some of the modifications on the drone. And we were really adverse, and so were the regulators, on doing modifications to the battery cells, because that is it can be potentially dangerous. So we do not do any modifications to the battery cell. All we do is we put a single wire onto the switch, so we can just send a pulse to the switch. It doesn't send, we don't interact with the battery cells or the battery management system. So we don't override the battery management system, so it always knows the state the battery's in. And we don't flood it with amperage that is over the rating of DJI's batteries. So yeah, that's a long answer, but we don't do cell modifications.
Thanks again, Peter, for clarifying. I think we've got multiple such questions around the battery modification, and if they have to do it, is it easy for the partners to do it themselves? So thanks for clearing that out. Moving on to the software side, Achal, there is a question around if there is a loss of RC or a GPS connection loss, then what happens to the drone?
So there are various fail safes that are already built into the software, where we have extended the basic DJI fail safes, as well as we have introduced fail safes which are very important or required for these kind of operations. So these are user configurable. If you lose RC connection, the drone can trigger return to home. If you lose 4G connection, you could set a trigger or a timeout that if you don't regain that in say 30 seconds, do this, where you can return to home or continue a mission depending upon where you're flying the drone and what is your use case. So you have configurable fail safes which are available, and you can deploy that or use them according to your use case.
Thanks, Achal. There's a question around if we support the Mavic 2 Enterprise Advanced.
Oh yes, we recently released that, so you might have come across that post on our social media. So we have released the support for DJI Mavic 2 Enterprise Advanced, so that drone is supported.
We have a couple of questions around remote diagnostics. So will it be all visible in the system, multiple docking stations that are going to be deployed, and can a user differentiate between the first generation and the new stations that are going to be deployed?
Right. So we are building a complete dashboard which you would be able to see all the data and logs, and it already provides all the logs as well as the details of the station plus the drone health. So the protocols, the technology has been built on that with the remote connectivity keeping in mind. So we know that these would be deployed at a unit where you don't want to go frequently to check the system. So all these diagnostic reports and logs would be available through the dashboard, as well as there would be over-the-air updates to the system where IDIPLOYER would be providing that in case of any firmware changes or any software changes which are required on the box. And the rest of the system is cloud-based, so you would get regular updates as we release more and more features.
Thanks, Achal. I think we have a few questions around the autonomous workflow. So the particular question says that when the drone goes to home automatically, does it also carry out precision landing on its own and then enter the box?
Yes, of course. So every time it goes to the box, it triggers the precision landing and precisely lands. So this is a fully automated workflow where nobody is controlling a box, nobody is controlling the drone. It automatically triggers that workflow where the box would be open till meanwhile the drone reaches the home location, and then it would detect the tag and land precisely.
A question along with that is, does the drawer stay open when the drone is deployed?
So once the drone takes off, the drawer closes. So that's another workflow. So even the APIs that we have designed, if you're looking to integrate that with any custom workflow, you can easily do so, where you no longer have to interface with drone separately, box separately, and build these automated workflows, because all you want to give is take off or execute or launch, and everything would then happen automatically. So the box would open, the drone would wait for the GPS log, it will fly, it will do the mission. Meanwhile, the box would close so nothing can fall inside, etc. And as the mission is done, or if you trigger a RTH, the box would again open and land it. Now, if the conditions change and there is no significant light, it would turn on the lights on the pad, where we can also do precision landing during the night time.
All right. With again regards to precision landing, what is the approximate wind speed at which precision landing is possible?
Right, so we have designed the protocols where it can sustain different wind conditions. I think Peter would be the right person to tell that. They have been testing that in the UK winds.
Yes, so we performed multiple precision landings So we did a test recently in 7 meters per second, gusting at 12 meters per second, and the precision landing performs very, very well. So it's not a case of it gets to a certain height and says, right, I'm going to land. It's really waiting for that ideal time and gets to the right height before saying, right, now I'm ready to land. So it performs very, very well. We haven't missed the landing pad. And with our rollers as well on the side, we've never been not able to close the drawer and accurately position the drone onto its charging. So it's very, very precise.
Thanks, Peter. A question is whether rain would affect the box, or is that going to be a problem?
No, the rain doesn't affect the box itself. However, you wouldn't want to be flying the Mavic in the rain. So we can integrate weather stations on the system. So that can be done as a separate add-on for you. And that weather system will talk to the software, and you won't be able to complete a mission if it's not the correct parameters in terms of the weather conditions. So you'll be able to see that information on the dashboard.
Thanks, Peter. With regards to the following up on the same question, a question for you, Achal. If rain is going to be a problem, how would you stop it on a pre-programmed flight?
Right. So as Peter said, we are integrating weather stations with the docking station, where again an automated workflow would check the weather before deploying the drone. So through the mission scheduler, you can plan the mission, but if the weather is not good, it would automatically take call to skip that mission and give you a notification. We are also working in progress to integrate online systems where even when you're scheduling those missions, you have visibility of how the weather is going to go like. So at least you have some forecast beforehand while you schedule these missions. And if this happens during the mission where that starts raining, it's an overcast situation, the system can detect it because the drone is constantly connected to the docking station and the cloud, where we can trigger return to home, and the drone will come in the minimal possible time to reduce the damage and get back to a safe house.
Speaking of fail-safes, Achal, we have a question which says that if there are two iDeployers deployed, say A and B, and if A breaks down, can you land with B? So maybe we can discuss about the PL fail-safes here.
Right. So every tag, you might have seen the optical tags, ARU markers on the docking station has their unique identity. So if you have a fleet of them where you're deploying multiple drones at the station, you can easily do that, where you can trigger set a fail-safe location. Now this fail-safe location could be a box, or it could be a simple landing place. So if it's a box, it will detect the tag and do this. Of course, this needs to be configured before, so the system understand what needs to be done in case of that kind of fail-safe.
Thanks. We have a lot of questions. However, we are closing on time. The final question, I think, Peter, that's going to be quite important. If anybody purchases a Mavic locally, can the integration be done remotely by themselves?
Yes, it can. We've got a training video of how to do the modifications. So in terms of the drone, it will just be attaching the feet, which is a simple process. The feet come pre-wired for you to plug into the drone's battery connection. So that's quite a simple process. The RC is a bit more complex. So we've done a video of how you do that process, because it's just a case of you would have to change the two antennas to extended antennas out of the box, and it's removing the RC switch and changing that to a wired switch to our control board on the system, and the battery is just removing a square box about 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter above next to the switch, which exposes the single board computer there for you to just add a wire to. So you would need to have sort of some technical experience in how to do that. We provide a how-to video, but it's your responsibility in terms of doing their modifications. Our preference is that we supply the drone for you, because we are a distributor of the drones, so we can get them at a similar price you would pay from a distributor. So that isn't a problem.
Thanks for clearing that out, Peter. So everybody in the audience who's also asking whether this session is recorded and if the recording will be made available, yes, this whole webinar is getting recorded, and we will publish the link to view the recording soon within 48 hours. I think we are almost up on time, Achal. If you have any closing thoughts, and if you would like to summarize the complete session.
I would like to first thank Peter to collaborate with us on this and helping the drone solution providers. So we've been really working with drone solution providers and businesses who are building their own technology in terms of solving a use case. Could be a security, could be construction, remote monitoring, wildlife protection, etc. So here we are helping these drone solution providers get to the next level where they can have these automated system deployed. So yeah, with this partner program, our goal is to bring the drone in the box technology to the masses by helping all the DSPs kickstart their business in the drone automation. And this year we'll be closely working with selected drone solution providers, and we'll be helping them through their journey. You can head to the link, register, and I'll just quickly move to that slide back where you can go to FlytNow.com/IDIPLOYER or idroneimages/IDIPLOYER Partner Program. Again, you can just head to the website and you can go under the partner section and you'll find the form to fill in. And yeah, just go there, register, and our team will get back to you with the next steps.
And just from my point of view as well, I think, yeah, as I said in the previous webinar, some of you were there, but those of you who weren't, these events that we do is not about selling volume for us. We're about finding the partners to help shape the future of autonomy, and we want drone service providers to demonstrate these systems and help you have the use cases for these systems so we can simplify the regulations going forward. And this is a journey that you're on with iDeployer, and this webinar is about the introduction, but feel free to contact me. Our contact details are on the website, and we'll send them after this webinar. And we'll hook up on a call and we'll talk through any questions you have. It doesn't end here, just get in touch, no problem.
Thank you so much, Peter. Thank you, Achal. All of you in the audience, have a great day out there.
Great. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thank you everyone for your time.
Bye.